So, I'm not sure what that smoke was. There's no fog in my house at all. I don't have a fog machine on. I don't have anything on. This thing is literally that powerful. Just know that half of this stuff isn't actually mine. 1,045 milliwatt NUGM03. Wasn't sure if I was covering up the microphone. Sorry for that. Here is the 90 milliwatt G2 PL520. GM03. Night and day difference. I finally built my very first 1+ watt green laser. Well, actually, I built it like 2 months ago and I forgot to make a video. It's literally been sitting in this case since I built it. I haven't even really used it except for a couple of beam shots when I first, made this thing. But anyways, this is the Nichia NUGM03. I'm actually pushing it to about 1.8 amps. I don't know why I thought this, but I thought by pushing it to about 1.8, that would be good for about 7 to 800 milliwatts, but I was way wrong. When I fired it onto my LPM, which by the way is calibrated, it had peaked above 1,000 at 1045, so 1,045 milliwatts. I assume that has a lot to do with the fact that the lens that I had chosen was the 2E lens, or basically a 2-element glass lens. I could have gone with a basically a single element G2 lens and would have gotten more power. Probably would have hit 11 or 1,200 milliwatts, but the beam divergence is so terrible on the G2 lens. The M03 is actually a G-ball style lens, which by the way, I'm a huge non-fan of that because my NUB M08, the beam divergence is absolutely terrible. But to be fair, the manufacturer never designed these diodes to ever go in something like this. They designed them for other applications, so beam diameter and beam divergence doesn't really matter. Make the beam divergence a little lower, drop the divergence down slightly, maybe, possibly by using a 3E lens. But the problem with 3-element lenses, as you all know, there's more glass for that light to travel through and you end up losing even more power, and I probably would have never even reached a watt. I was thinking about taking the 2E lens off and putting one of my G2s on there just to see how much power I would have gotten out of a G2 lens. But as you all know, the M03 is an open can diode, and me and open can diodes don't get along very well. So I will get a close-up of this diode so you all can see, and I noticed that smartphones, especially the iPhone, get really good laser videos because the light is literally right next to the lens. So as we get closer, I will hit the zoom in feature, and you can see everything's so close. And everything in there is tiny. Those prongs are incredibly small, and it also helps that this diode is actually an open can diode. So there's no diode window to go through. I tried this on some of my other lasers, but unfortunately, because they are canned diodes, there is a diode window that this thing has to also go through and doesn't get quite as clear of an image. Also, the iPhone 11, along with the Pro, I'm not sure about Samsung phones, I don't know much about them, there is a stationary optical zoom, if that makes any sense. An optical zoom always means that the lens itself moves. Like digital cameras, SLR cameras, or camcorders, they have an optical zoom, and it's able to move that lens so you can see more clearly. Digital zoom just kills video and pictures because you're digitally enhancing a still image or video. But the iPhone has an optical zoom that basically doesn't move, if that makes any sense. You have the regular lens that is basically wide angle, or just the standard lens, and then you have another lens that is basically zoomed in but stationary. So I guess you would consider that technically an optical zoom, since it's not enhancing it digitally. So that's what's able to make it to where you can see this very well. Okay. Oh wow, that's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. In your GM03.